Could a single photograph really stay with someone long after the lights have gone out and the curtain has fallen? Four fans of Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara, better known together as Rikuryu, one quiet moment from the final day of the Destiny appears to have done exactly that. The performance itself was filled with music, movement, precision, and emotion, yet the image that keeps drawing attention is not simply a spectacular moment on the ice. It is what happened immediately afterward, when the performance was over and the two skaters seemed to return to a more natural world beyond the choreography. In particular, fans have been captivated by a sequence that begins with Riku's emotional expression and seems to lead into a quiet exchange of glances between her and Ryuichi. There is no dramatic announcement in that instant, no elaborate stage effect, and no obvious explanation for what the two were feeling. There is simply a brief look, a subtle expression, and a sense of emotion that viewers can interpret in their own way. That may be precisely why the moment has become so memorable. When a scene lasts only a few seconds but stays in someone's mind for hours, days, or even longer, it often means the audience found something genuine in it. One fan described watching the moment again and again, almost losing count of how many times the sequence had been replayed. What should have passed in an instant became a memory worth returning to. And after such a special final day, that small moment may have carried even more weight because the Destiny itself had just reached its conclusion. There was also a small development on social media that became part of the conversation. A photograph that had previously been available was reportedly removed, and a story that Miura had shared earlier also appeared to disappear afterward. The fan who posted about the situation said they eventually deleted their own story as well. But there is an important distinction that should not be overlooked. The available post does not establish why those photos or stories were removed. Without clear confirmation, there is no reason to assign a hidden meaning to the deletions or turn an uncertain detail into a definite claim. The safest and fairest way to understand the situation is to separate what was actually seen from what people may imagine it meant. Still, for fans who were looking forward to seeing the images, their disappearance may have created a small feeling of disappointment. Yet instead of ending there, the conversation moved toward another photograph, and this one carried a much warmer feeling. The fan highlighted a favorite Rikuryu shot taken after the gladiator segment on the final day of the Destiny. During the performance, Miura and Kihara command attention through synchronized movement, expressive skating, and the kind of timing that has become one of their trademarks. But immediately after the performance, something changes. The competition-like intensity gives way to natural expressions, and that contrast can be surprisingly powerful. Fans who have watched Rikuryu for years know their technical brilliance, but they also pay attention to the tiny moments around the skating itself. A smile before going onto the ice, a reaction after finishing a program, a glance exchanged between them, or a quiet expression captured by a camera can sometimes become just as meaningful as the biggest technical element. The reason is simple. These moments make the athletes feel closer and more human. On the ice, every movement has purpose. Every lift, step, and transition is carefully prepared. Once the music ends, however, the pressure of performance begins to fall away, and the audience can catch a glimpse of something less controlled. That is where this particular photograph seems to have captured people's attention. The fan was especially moved by the progression from Riku's tears to the moment when the two appeared to look at each other. It was not described as a dramatic declaration or proof of anything beyond the visible scene. Instead, the appeal came from the quietness of it. Sometimes two people do not need to say anything for a photograph to feel emotionally complete. A facial expression, a pause, or a shared look can leave viewers wondering what happened in that tiny space of time. That uncertainty can make an image even more compelling because every viewer brings their own feelings to it. The fan did not simply see a picture and move on. They returned to it repeatedly, discovering something each time. A moment that might have been almost invisible during a live show became something that could be examined again and remembered long after the performance ended. That reaction says something important about why Rikuryu has developed such a devoted following. Their appeal is obviously built on extraordinary skating ability and the remarkable synchronization they have developed together, but it does not stop there. Fans have also become attached to the atmosphere that surrounds them, the expressions they show, and the natural interactions that appear outside the formal structure of competition. When the pair stands together, there is a recognizable sense of familiarity that many supporters have come to appreciate. This is not necessarily about assigning a particular meaning to their relationship. It is about recognizing the comfort and rhythm that can emerge after years of working together. The destiny gave audiences an opportunity to see that side of them in a setting that was different from a traditional competition. A competition asks skaters to enter a highly controlled environment, perform under pressure, and deliver within a strict framework. An ice show can create a different kind of space. It can allow performers to express themselves through a broader world of music, storytelling, staging, and personality. Because Miura and Kihara were involved in shaping the destiny, the show also felt like more than another appearance. For many supporters, it represented a new chapter and a new way of experiencing Riku. That may explain why the final day images have continued to resonate even after the show ended. The audience was not only watching a performance. They were watching a chapter of their story unfold in a different form. One especially revealing part of the fan reaction was the feeling that this was a side of Riku they had once believed could only be seen around major competitions. For years, fans have followed them through the intense atmosphere of skating events, where every score, mistake, recovery, and celebration can feel enormous. Seeing the pair in a show created a different kind of emotional experience. There was still the discipline and precision that define elite pair skating, but there was also more room for personality and spontaneity. That combination can make a brief post-performance moment feel unusually precious. The fans' words also suggested that Riku cannot be separated from those little moments before and after the actual performance. The jumps, lifts, and choreography are important, but so are the expressions that appear when the music stops. That is why a single photograph can become a favorite memory. It does not have to contain a huge event. Sometimes it only needs to capture a feeling. And perhaps that is what happened with the gladiator image. The performance ended, the lights moved on, and the moment itself was extremely short, but the photograph preserved something that could not be recreated in exactly the same way. The emotional effect was made stronger by the timing. The destiny had just completed its final day, so fans were already processing the end of a project they had anticipated and followed. When a major event concludes, people often experience two emotions at once: gratitude for what they have just witnessed and sadness because it is over. A quiet image from the final day can become a bridge between those feelings. It allows fans to hold on to one small piece of the experience while beginning to wonder what comes next. That is also why the fans' comment about waiting for the next announcement is so telling. Normally, after a major event, people might expect to spend some time enjoying the memories before looking ahead. Yet this fan was already wondering when the next update might arrive. The feeling was almost amusingly impatient. There were already appearances and other activities to look forward to, and yet the desire for more Riku content had not disappeared. The fan even seemed to remind themselves not to be greedy because there was already plenty to enjoy. That little internal debate is something many devoted supporters can understand. You know you should appreciate what has already been given to you, but when a new chapter becomes exciting, curiosity naturally asks what will happen next. The waiting itself becomes part of being a fan. People wait for new photographs, new appearances, interviews, radio programs, performances, and announcements. While they wait, they revisit old programs and favorite images. They notice details they missed before. They remember a particular expression, a gesture, or a moment that felt different from everything else. In that sense, the repeated viewing of the gladiator photograph is not unusual at all. It is part of the way memories become stronger. The first viewing creates an impression. The second viewing may reveal a facial expression. The third may make the timing of a glance stand out. Eventually, the image becomes connected to the larger memory of the event itself. That is one reason social media can have such a powerful effect on fandom. A photograph can appear for only a short time, yet hundreds or thousands of people may see it, discuss it, save the memory, and share their reactions. When an image later disappears, people who saw it may remember it even more clearly because they know they cannot simply return to the original post. But again, disappearance should not automatically be treated as evidence of a hidden story. The reason for a deletion may be completely ordinary, and when the reason is unknown, it is better to keep that uncertainty intact. What matters here is not speculation about why something was removed. What matters is the emotional response to the moment that fans actually saw. And that response is remarkably straightforward. They want to see more of Riku. They want to watch their skating, follow their shows, see their natural expressions, and discover what kind of work they will take on next. That desire has become especially interesting now because the destiny has ended. The final curtain may have closed on this particular production, but the attention surrounding Miura and Kihara has not faded with it. If anything, the conclusion has created a new wave of curiosity. Fans are now looking backward at the moments they loved while simultaneously looking forward to whatever comes next. There is a unique emotional rhythm to that kind of transition. One moment, everyone is focused on the final performance. The next, people are asking what the next chapter will be. The show becomes a memory almost immediately, even though the emotions from it are still fresh. That is why the final day gladiator image has become more than just another photograph. It represents a moment when the performance was finished, the emotion was still visible, and the two skaters were caught in a natural pause before moving on. There is also something important about the way fans value small moments rather than only major headlines. News about competition results, announcements, and large events naturally attracts attention, but a quiet smile or a fleeting glance can stay with someone much longer. For a supporter who has followed Riku for years, these small details can feel like pieces of a much larger story. They show how the pair exists beyond the scoreboard. They show personality, emotion, and familiarity. And when a photograph captures one of those details at exactly the right second, it can become unforgettable. The sequence involving Riku's tears is especially powerful because tears can communicate an emotional state without explaining its exact cause. A viewer can see that something mattered deeply, but the image does not necessarily tell them every reason behind that emotion. That is why it is important not to impose a story that the photograph itself cannot prove. The beauty is that people can simply acknowledge what they saw and allow the feeling to remain open. Perhaps Riku was overwhelmed by the final performance, perhaps by the atmosphere of the show, perhaps by the end of an important project, or perhaps by several emotions arriving at once. Whatever the precise reason, the visible emotion was enough to make the moment meaningful to those watching. Then comes the glance between the two, and suddenly the scene feels complete. It creates a visual progression from emotion to connection without requiring a single spoken word. This is the kind of sequence that can make a fan stop scrolling. It is also the kind of sequence that people may replay because the brain naturally searches for details in emotionally charged moments. What was the expression on Riku's face? Where was Ryuichi looking? How long did the glance last? What happened immediately before and after? These questions do not necessarily need definitive answers. Sometimes they are simply part of the pleasure of revisiting a favorite scene. The destiny itself seems to have encouraged that kind of emotional attention because the project was not merely another scheduled competition appearance. It was a stage where Riku could present something shaped around their own vision. For fans, that gave the event a sense of personal significance. They were not only watching two elite skaters perform someone else's program. They were seeing them participate in creating a world of their own. When the final day arrived, that investment naturally made the ending feel bigger. The final performance was not just the end of a show, it became the closing image of a period that fans had been waiting to experience. In that atmosphere, even a few seconds after the performance could become a lasting symbol. The stage may have been designed for dramatic performances, but the camera found something quieter. That contrast is what makes the photographs so compelling. The grand spectacle ends, yet the emotional story seems to continue in a small expression. The final image therefore feels less like a conclusion and more like a quiet reminder of why these two continue to matter so deeply to their supporters. The destiny is over, but the memories remain, and fans will keep watching for the next moment that makes them stop, smile, and look back one more time. For now, that exchange remains a lasting reminder that the smallest moments can become the memories fans treasure most, long after the lights have faded.